I can't tell you how excited. My sport is back this weekend. Supercars is back, and it is a whole new era. And to help us get through it is one of my favourite people in the world, but certainly on Australian telly. A great Queenslander, a normal Australian. Can I build him up enough? Mark Larkham. Larko, how are you, big fella? Joining us from Newcastle, where the first race is this weekend. You are across every little detail of a brand new era, and I know, because we talked yesterday, you're pumped.
Well, I tell you what, mate, you've just paid me the biggest compliment ever. I've had no one ever call me normal, and normal's a very nice thing to say. Thank you, mate. The vibe here at Newcastle is really good, Paul. I got to say, if I sound enthusiastic, it's because I am. Hand on heart, mate. This is a big moment for our sport. It really is. We've never made a change as big as we're about to see debut here tomorrow on track.
Because we all know the Holden era was a long way out, and it is replaced by this new type of car called the Gen 3 version of the car, but it's Mustangs, it's Camaros, it's Ford and it's Chevy. And I can tell you, as a man who has bled red and loved Holden with his whole life, from day one I am a Chevy man and I am all in. So make sure that you transfer your love of the Lion and move it over to the big Chevy.
Well said. And, mate, it's really important, you know, you look around your man cave, right? That says it all. It's really important, I reckon, that every Holden, Commodore, Brock, Scaife, Lowndes supporter that ever was now understands they're still part of the GM, the General Motors family, which is Chevy Camaro. And a couple of things, mate, that your audience need to know, that we went down this route of these new cars, Mustang and Camaro, for three primary reasons, very important reasons. Number one was to have a bit more manufacturer relevance. So the cars you see now, the wind-licked surface, as I call, the exterior surface, exactly replicates that of the road car. Now, that wasn't the case, believe it or not, where we've come from. The second thing is the engine in these cars, whilst we've modified a little bit, it comes from the family of engines from Ford and General Motors. That's a Chevy engine, that's a Ford Mustang engine. That's very important. Then the bits on the cars are common up and down the pit lane. So it means a race team can be a race team. It doesn't have to be a manufacturing and design organisation, which most of these teams were. So from a resource point of view, that really saps everything. So now the cars are tunable like race cars always are, but you don't have to worry about having a team of CAD designers and manufacturing facilities to make and invent all the bits. So a lot more, I tell you what it's like. This is our NRL drafting, or sorry, AFL drafting system. It's our NRL salary cap, because everyone, the guys at that end of the pit lane, have exactly the same equipment as Triple Eight up at that end of the pit lane. So that's a really good thing. And then finally, mate, if I can be brief, the really big one is our cars have a lot of aerodynamic downforce. They always have. So the faster they go, the more the aero on the wings, there's a wing under the front and a wing at the rear, push the cars into the road. So that means you can turn them and they're very predictable, and we've just put more and more and more on, like Formula One. We got to the stage where we just had way too much, too easy to drive. So we've taken bucket loads off. They are now, look, we've taken 60% of the downforce off the cars. So what you're going to see starting here this weekend, mate, is drivers, and I've seen them already at test stage, mate, they're frustrated, they're hot, they're bothered, they're agitated. The steering wheel's different, the buttons on the steering wheel, they don't have anti-roll bars to adjust down here, their brake bias on the wrong side, they're in a little cabin that's got really difficult vision, and now all of a sudden they can't feel their tyres. Fantastic. So they're going to be pissed, mate, I tell you. And it seems to me the more experienced the drivers, the more pissed they are. So the younger drivers who haven't had that muscle memory and, you know, conditioned to a lot of downforce, they seem to be less concerned about it all. So I reckon we're in for a great time. So, I tell you, to summarise, the mistake window, the potential for mistake, which we love, has opened up. We'll see more mistakes, and that's good. That's good for entertainment. That was done for the fans.
For those that aren't into as much detail as you and I, are they faster? Are they louder? Are they heavier? Are they lighter? Are they quieter? Give us an idea.
So it's funny, isn't it? So we've taken all that aero off, and in any other racing world, you'd think these things are going to go way slower. I can tell you these cars are going to go about the same speed as the cars we've just come from. Why is that? Because less aero means a little less drag, they're wider, they're lower, they're lighter. And lighter is everything. When cars are lighter, that makes a huge difference. So the cars are a little bit lighter, wider track, so they grip better. The centre of gravity in the cars is lower, so that means they'll corner really well. So it's nice that they get that cornering ability from those dynamics, if you like, rather than downforce. And taking that downforce off, Paul, one of the key considerations was that when you've got one car in front like this and another car trying to attack and get around him this way and that way, when you're following behind, if you come in too close, the dirty air that's coming off this car makes the downforce, the aerodynamics I'm talking about, really difficult. So you can't get in close. Your car doesn't work. So by taking aero off the cars, now it doesn't matter if this front car's got dirty air coming off it or air without energy in it. The car behind is no longer reliant on so much aero, 60% less, so it can come in closer and still be efficient. So we hope from that we're going to see drivers having a little more of a crack, being a little more daring on the faster corners, tuck it in under there. Where I'm looking forward to already, though, is across the top of the mountain at Bathurst. Man, you go across the top of the mountain at average 200 k's an hour with 60% less downforce. Good luck.